Hey, good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. Always excited to be with you, folks. Always excited to share the news with you. And I have been watching the Fani Willis proceedings down in Georgia, where she is on record. This is pretty mind-numbing stuff, folks. So I've just rewound it a little. We're going to watch it as it happens here. I just went back to one particular spot. We'll start watching forward from there. But do me a favor, please do smash that like. Do chat in with where you are from. Love to see who's on the stream. I just kind of started this right away. No real advanced warning for you. So I'm sure people will jump on as we go along. Again, do go check out my sponsor, MyPillow, mypillow.com/lumberjack, 1-800-568-2865. I got to admit, though, I am, this is wild. You're going to see this here, but I need to just remove the banner and then bring in the stream. Folks, this is, I guess some things never change. Fani Willis is always going to be Fani Willis, folks. So let's just turn this on, and I'll turn up the volume here, okay? And watch this.
She's pontificating on everything from rape kits, which was what she was about to get into. The question was the amount of money that came from state funds and county funds. And if she doesn't know the answer to that question, the answer is, I don't know. The question isn't let me talk. The answer isn't let me talk about rape kits. So I'll get back to the line of question. I'm going to give you latitude here, Madam DA, but same way in a courtroom, there are guardrails as to what we need to stay in and within. Indeed, Governor. And this is not a courtroom. I have plenary power, Governor, to conduct the meeting. Absolutely.
Wow. Look at this old governor from Georgia. He's all worked up. You can hardly hear him in the audio.
Governor.
And he's like running on about how she's entitled to a jury trial and all of that. We know
the motives. He's on the ballot.
Governor, this is a
witch hunt
of the Senate Special Committee on Investigations. We're going to go on to our next question. How are the funds? You say that we give you the money, and I know that's a loose term, and that flows into the Fulton County coffers, so to speak. And when you remit payment, you do that through the Fulton County accounting system. Is that correct?
Your question was compound. I didn't understand.
Sure, I'll try to break that down. When checks are written as a result of a check request made by your office, those checks are paid by Fulton County. Is that correct?
I don't know how every check is written and if that's going to be 100% accurate. So I'm going to refrain from asking that question. What I can tell you is that, and probably happens in every other circuit,
look at how nervous she is.
Has control over their budget and they don't have to go to the county.
Look at her.
But I understood I was a woman DA coming into office. I also understood that I was African American.
I understood that I was a woman DA coming in the office. I also understood that I was an African American. She is right back to the same old crap, blaming it all on race and victimhood. Why does she? I don't even know that these people know what a woman is. This is nuts.
And so therefore there would always be a target on my back. And so I did two things financially. One is I've never, so people can stop requesting, had a credit card associated with that office. Never. So I've never had a credit card, will never have a credit card. The other thing I did is that there is a CFO of Fulton County, a white female.
No. She just kept cash under the mattress. Use that to.
Her name is Sharon Whitmore. I believe you've heard from her. And so I made it so that the procedures of my office, although I did not have to do it, that it has to go through her for clearance. That way, nobody would say the district attorney stole any money.
Okay, that gets to the core of my question. So when you're paying vendors, when you're paying contractors, that's going through, I think you said her name was Miss Whitmore, and she did testify before the committee. What I'm getting to, and I'm trying to figure out, is whether when the state funds come in, the federal funds come in, the county funds come in, are those paid for out of separate accounts? Are those funds kind of commingled into a general budget, if you will, and that gets allocated?
I really couldn't answer the question. There's many different pots of money from the county. The state directly pays those state employees. Then they get another check from the county, the ones that don't make enough from the state. I really can't fully answer your question of all the ways. I have a team that I call my deputy. I have a deputy of operations and a team that does that kind of stuff. But there's some money from the county. There's some money from the state. The grant money I know goes to the state. The truth is I don't have any grants. Fulton County has grants, but those grants do benefit my office. My Saki unit is renowned. I'm ending the year with a 100% conviction rate on special victim division. Saki is a sexual assault kit initiative. Georgia, like many states, failed victims, mainly victims of color. And so rape kits for years, going back.
Yeah, it's all about race again, folks. This woman is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't know if I've ever seen a worse district attorney. I mean, I've seen district attorneys who are more, what's the word I'm looking for? More, I guess, cunning, more evil. I mean, I've seen that. This gal is largely incompetent, just in her ability to explain things. And look at how nervous she is. Look at her fidgeting with the glasses. Just watch her body language. It's wild.
To the 80s were not tested. So we have a grant with the federal government that, and I'm talking about thousands of rape kits, where they go and they test those rape kits. What we have found is if they would have done those jobs and believed those victims, that many of those rape kits go back to serial rapists. They also go back to people that have committed other crimes. I have excellent attorneys that are in that unit, some that I pay out of the grant, some that I add with my general fund. And as I said, not just my Saki unit, but my crimes against children unit, my Saki unit, my sexual assault unit, my human trafficking unit. We're ending the year with 100%.
So just yes or no on these. We can move.
Do you know what's interesting, folks? If you prosecute less people, if you allow plea deals, and you can then get a higher conviction rate. I just want you to know, I don't know all the numbers on this. Interesting. Who is this governor of Georgia? He's obviously a former governor of Georgia. Laid it up in the chat. I don't know who this guy is who is rushing to defend Fani so much here.
On to the next topic. You said you do not have a county credit card or a DA credit card.
Absolutely not. So y'all can say I stole some money.
Is there any sort of DA checking account that's separate that you use to pay your vendors or anything like that? Or is it all to go through the county?
I really can't answer that. And so I'm not going to speculate.
Okay.
She can't answer.
You mentioned forfeiture funds before. Do you have a ballpark of how much you've received? I think you said it was a small number of state forfeiture funds.
No, I said federal.
Okay.
I don't think there's much in the federal forfeiture account.
Do you receive state forfeiture funds?
I do.
Approximately how much a year is that in an average year?
I don't know the number to that. I can tell you I have sitting in abeyance. I just did a huge forfeiture, but it's not money we can touch yet. It's a couple $1 million.
Okay. What's your understanding of the allowed uses of state forfeiture funds?
Oh, if I don't know the use of a forfeiture money, I talk to lawyers in the office. I'll go to PAC. I don't touch forfeiture money unless I get some approval.
Do you know of any delineation between the allotment, the allowance of uses between state forfeiture funds?
Yeah, there's definitely
and federal
rules around. There's definitely rules.
I was asking about the difference between federal and state, if there's any rules there.
There are rules to both, and I don't know I can't tell you the rules for each.
Oh, she can't even tell you the rules, folks. Somebody said Danny Willis, attorney. They refer to him as governor. So I'm curious who this guy is. He just, as you're looking in the screen, the guy with the white hair, lower right, is so that you're saying this is Danny Willis, an attorney. Why do they keep calling him governor then? I don't know this guy.
Time we were going to make an expenditure, we would look at it, I'm sure.
Do you know if those funds are commingled at all within your system?
I don't know it, but I would believe not.
Okay. Who is it? You mentioned that you got people. Who is it that oversees the use of forfeiture funds in the office?
It's going to be the county that goes, stuff is going to go back to the county.
Okay. And do you know whether or not any forfeiture funds were used to pay Mr. Wade?
I'm not aware of that. We would have submitted the invoices to the county. The county would have used one of those mini line items. They would have paid them.
Can you think of a reason why forfeiture funds would be used to pay Mr. Wade?
I guess he's.
She just told you that she doesn't know. So
Yeah, you were asking me to speculate.
You do not know whether Mr. Wade was paid with state forfeiture funds or not?
You're asking me to speculate.
No, I'm asking
No.
if you know whether or not state forfeiture, any forfeiture funds were used.
I'm unaware of that.
Okay.
I'm unaware if the answer is yes. I'm unaware if the answer is no. What I'm aware of is the process was turn in a bill and they would do it. You and Jim Jordan working together?
I've never talked to him. Just one point.
That is classic for her to ask if he's working with Jim Jordan when Nathan Wade was at the White House communicating with the Biden regime. That is folks, that is so telling. Talk about a blame shift. If ever I saw one in my life, she just asked if he was working with Jim Jordan when we know in fact that she was working with the Biden regime. This is retarded. How is she the prosecuting attorney down in Fulton County? How is this even real? How is this happening in my life? How is it that these people even get into office? Can somebody, obviously fraud. I got to remember fraud. But she would have gotten in even without it, folks. Her share of the vote total in Fulton County was huge, even after she acted like an idiot.
Anybody who doesn't report people that get raped in college, I'm gonna have to disagree with you
there. This is, you recognize the bottom form here, Fulton County court payment voucher.
I don't.
Is this you've never seen any document in this format before?
Never.
Okay. Well, this shows a number of things here. It shows what fund it was paid from here, which is 440, which is your the forfeiture fund account. You can see at the top the unit name confiscated funds for this invoice, and then here you can see that this was a payment made. And I apologize, you can't see my mouse. On the left side there, right in the middle, you can see that this was a payment made to the law office of Nathan Wade. In reviewing for your testimony today, we just did review the bills and look through different sources of funds that were used to pay Mr. Wade. I know your testimony is you were not aware that forfeiture funds were used. We saw Mr. Wade was paid from forfeiture funds and from the county general fund, which is Fund 100. And that's why I was getting to the uses of forfeiture funds to pay independent contractors. Do you have any knowledge of any restrictions that may be around the concept of using forfeiture funds to pay independent contractors?
I do not. It was my understanding.
Wild. He's asking this question, folks. He actually knows the answer. So one of the things that you'll, like anybody who's good in a line of questioning, just so you understand, when you're watching court scenes play out, and obviously this isn't court, this is a hearing before a government body. But when you ask a question as an attorney or as somebody in this position, you have to know the answer to the question. So this is going to get really interesting here in a second because she's claiming no knowledge of this. I cannot wait to see this play out.
Stating that Mr. Wade was paid out of my professional services budget.
Okay. What's the accounting process? That's kind of what I was getting to earlier. Of kind of, if it was your understanding he was paid out of the professional services budget, that would intimate that there's some sort of accounting procedure within either your office or the county office where there are separate fund allocations. And I asked you if your funds were commingled and everything was paid out of the same, or if there were dedicated accounts. So you were unaware that Mr. Wade was paid out of the forfeiture funds. You believe he was paid out of the professional services funds. What would be the process as you understand in your office?
Okay, seriously, folks, we got to do something here. Watch her face. I'm going to set a timer, and we're going to count how many times she blinks. Let me just go to my phone here. We're going to go to a stopwatch. All right, I'm going to hit play. We're just going to watch in a minute here how many times she blinks.
Determine what fund invoice is paid from.
You're
in the weeds, and I don't know the answer.
5,
okay.
6.
We've already talked about the
8,
selection of the
9,
special
10,
SADAs, special
11,
assistant district
12,
attorneys. I may use those interchangeably.
13.
Process
14,
of interviewing Governor
15,
Barnes, among some other folks,
16,
ultimately settling on Mr.
17,
Wade.
18, 19,
I don't want you to act
20,
like he was,
21,
Well, after
Two.
just talking to 2 or 3 people, I
23,
think, to be fair, I don't think
He's
I'm
a
not seeing
lawyer
if
that
I
practiced
bothered.
in law 25 years.
Sure.
28, 29.
What was the
30,
reason that you chose to
31.
use? And I think if you could just unpack this for us a little bit more,
Okay.
that you chose to use a special
We don't even need a
assistant
minute. She's
DA
blinking every second.
at the rate of $250 an hour versus using the attorneys that were already in your office, or hiring additional attorneys at a rate that you referenced earlier is between, I think you said between $85,000 and $200,000 a year.
Because we were drowning, and each of so most of the lawyers I had in the office wouldn't be qualified to do that work.
Okay, so this is really interesting. Okay, watch this. She is trying to justify right now paying Nathan Wade that ungodly sum of money, okay, which is her beau, right? Even after she said he wasn't, they weren't a thing anymore. Then we saw her show up with her daughter and Nathan at that traffic stop. You guys all saw that video, I'm sure. So now she is trying to justify this, and they were drowning. Well, why are they taking on this case anyways, which was a worthless loser case? But so she is justifying why she paid him these ridiculous sums of money, or trying to. Okay, but watch this, because she just said that they didn't have anyone qualified in their office. Folks, this was covered widely at the time. Light it up in the chat. Was Nathan Wade qualified for this kind of case? Had he run these kind of cases before? Tell me that in the chat.
I had some that were qualified to do that work, but each of them had a major project. Let me use those 2 cases that mattered most to me: Kennedy Maxey and Sequoia Turner. I was determined we were going to win those cases. So on day 1, those cases got handed to Miss Dacia Young. In addition to handing her that, because nobody has one job, I handed her the Special Victims Division, at which time had like 8 units. So she's doing both these 2 big cases, and she's over the entire Special Victims Division. Same thing with Mr. Carlson, very qualified lawyer, but I handed him 6 units. And I also told him, you gonna get rid of these 250 or so murders that we have. We're gonna do a project. We're gonna set it up. We're gonna go one by one. So every lawyer I had with that level of experience had a huge project. I assigned a lawyer to deal with the 18,000 backlog. I don't want to be sitting here it took us, I think, 3 years to get through those, as well as keep up with the 46,000 cases they end up coming in my first term. So everyone had some. So it became obvious to me that I needed a lawyer that could manage this team while I did the rest of the work of the people.
So there was nobody else, either internal or that you could have hired at a lower rate that could you just
lower rate than 250? It's an insult to take 250 for a lawyer that's been practicing law that long.
I thought you told me earlier that your range of people that work for you are between 85, not dollars an hour, but $85,000 a year and $200,000.
Yeah, but at 85,000 is like one domestic violence grant.
Okay, this is wild. So $85,000. She is so, gosh, I've seen people do this so many times where they take and conflate a side issue to try and pull the attention off the main issue. And the main issue is Fani Willis hired Nathan Wade because she benefited from that relationship. That's the issue. Now she's trying to tell you that $85,000 is an insult. $85,000 would equate to $42.50 an hour. $200,000 a year would equate to $100 an hour. And I do understand that attorneys are charging more than that, but there are attorneys out there charging. I had to hire a real estate attorney once, the only time I've ever hired an attorney. And I think we were paying at that time, it was a very good firm, and we had to pay $250 an hour for that attorney. It was too much. It disgusted me, but nonetheless, but we're talking about government funds here going to her beau. That's what we're talking about.
I usually only hire someone with 3 years of experience. I make an exception with that because that's, an offensive salary. Although I can tell you, I think the state is paying lawyers $64,000. I mean, it's ridiculous. I know a little girl just graduated Georgetown Law, and she's making $280,000, $300,000 a year. We do not take public service seriously, and we need to, because my lawyers do greater work than most of these lawyers in this civil firm.
doesn't include
benefits.
the perks, the health insurance, and all that stuff. Which wage does that have?
Sure. So describe for me the experience level of your top paid, or somebody that would fall within the category of the top paid assistant district attorney that works for you at the $200,000 a year. And to Governor Barnes's point, plus benefits, let's just say that that's $250. And if I take that divided by 2,000 hours, that's about $125 an hour.
I don't understand the question.
My question
Of course
is,
she doesn't.
what is the experience level of the assistant district attorneys?
Are you
in your
trying to
office?
intimate that you're going to tell me who to hire and how to do my job?
No, ma'am. I'm asking
Oh, look at
the
her.
people, the wonderful people that you have hired. They're the top of your pay scale at $200,000 a year. What is?
Did you see that? Oh my gosh. She is one of the, it is hard for me to even comprehend the way this woman acts. So the guy down there is Roy Barnes. I figured it out here. He was the 80th governor of Georgia from 1999 to 2003. Okay. He is the most recent Democrat to serve as governor of Georgia. He's obviously in the Fani Willis camp.
Their experience level? Because I'll let you answer that. I'll ask my next question.
20 years practicing or
Okay.
more.
And it's your testimony that somebody with 20 years practicing or more would not be able to manage the election interference case?
You are really not listening. I said that I had people at that pay rate, and each of them was assigned a major task within my office. And no, I did not have anyone that was not assigned with a major task that I trusted to manage this case. And so I made a decision. The people of Fulton County elected me to make that decision, and I did.
Is there a reason why you decided to go the special assistant district attorney route via independent contractor as opposed to a new full-time hire?
I think it's asked and answered, sir.
Okay.
Because it's cheap. You don't have to pay the perks.
Governor, I'm happy for you to provide counsel to your client, but in terms of testimony, that's what the district attorney is here for today. Can you describe?
To give you fair notice, I'm not going to allow her to answer repetitive questions that have been answered time and time again.
No, they
Are there
haven't
any
been answered,
internal
actually.
policies that you had that kind of drew a line between when you would use your internal staff versus hiring a special assistant district attorney, or was it more so based on workload like you described?
It was based on my decisions.
Just based on her decisions.
At its peak, how many total attorneys were working on the election interference case?
Maybe 9, approximately.
Wow.
You referenced to Mr. Cross before. I believe
Who?
I believe you referenced to Mr. Cross before.
I don't know, Mr. Cross.
A couple minutes ago. Miss Cross, I apologize.
What about him?
Her.
Who are you talking about?
Miss Anna Cross.
I never referenced Miss Santa Claus.
I believe you referenced Miss Cross when we were going
I
through
didn't read back the testimony.
Can you give me the breakdown of the total attorneys that were on the case? How many of those were full-time within your office, and how many of those were independent contractors?
I believe I had 3 independent contractors.
One of those being Mr. Wade. Who were the other 2?
John Floyd, Anna Cross. Diversity, white male, white female, black male. Diversity is intentional.
Oh, God.
Or in those special.
Okay, folks. You have got to be kidding me. Folks, it's all about diversity now. It's not even about winning cases. This is unbelievable. I don't know. I mean, I've seen people like this before, but have you ever seen worse testimony in public? Have you ever? Answer that question. Have you ever seen worse testimony? I mean, I guess, I've seen some pretty wild stuff. I remember those college professors that were before the U.S. Senate or U.S. House answering questions about the violence that they perpetuated on their school campuses against Jewish students. I remember that. That was pretty bad. But this lady's just her body language is so telling.
Assistant district attorneys.
They're all amazing lawyers. John Floyd is the RICO expert. He wrote the book, literally. He taught me RICO. So that was his experience. He's not he's not necessarily going to be the trial prosecutor, but he certainly is great to.
I wonder about Harrison Floyd. There's a Floyd I want to hear you talking about, Fani. What about Harrison Floyd?
Help you put together an indictment, and he is certainly capable of questioning a witness, but that was not his forte. Miss Cross is a brilliant mind. She writes beautifully, and is very well versed in the law. I'd worked for a prosecutor in the past, so I looked for smart people with integrity. And I got 3 lawyers, each that God put in different skin, that could do the work.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for giving us Ms. Cross's background, the rest of those as well. Has Mr. Wade ever prosecuted a RICO case prior to the election interference case?
Mr. Wade was served as a prosecutor before this. He also has worked as a criminal defense attorney, and I believe he has defended RICO cases.
But as far as you know, he had not prosecuted.
I didn't need him for that. That's why I get to make the selection and not you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This woman is next level. Gosh. That's why I get to make this selection, not you.
So you referenced him prosecuting cases. My understanding is this was the first felony case that he was on the prosecutor side for. Is that accurate?
I'm not sure if that's accurate. I know.
I'm not sure. Okay. You don't even know the background of the guy that you're giving $750,000 to. You have got to be shicing me at this point. What is this?
I believe he did some work for the Attorney General, although the Attorney General never tries as many cases as my office. Different people are needed for different things. And the people of Fulton County elected me to make those decisions. And I know y'all want to come in and be daddy and create QAnon committees that will judge prosecutors and have these committees. But
oh my gosh, daddy, QAnon, this is unbelievable.
Unfortunately for you, I won this vote by 68% this time, 87 in the Democratic, 68 the general, 72% last time. So the people of Fulton County have selected me to make these choices, and I make them. And my city and county are safer because I make them.
Okay, look at just the act. She's so defiant. But here, I want you to think about this. She's right. Those numbers are right. She won the vote, even after all the press coverage around her spending their money in nefarious ways, running around the country with Nathan Wade, pulling cash out to pay for their junkets, all of that. She still got elected by 68%. Now, you can say, well, what about the fraud? Yes, fair enough. Fair enough. But here's the thing, 18 points. I don't think the fraud's making up the 18-point spread. I honestly think she would have won anyhow. That's what's crazy about this.
In your prior testimony with Miss Ashley Merchant, there was conversation around what she referred to as block billing. How would you describe block billing?
Oh, let's talk about Miss Merchant.
Let's just talk about block billing, please.
We're not.
I've opened the question to block.
We're not. Let's talk about Miss Merchant. We're not. I mean, Merchant was one of the greatest things that happened in that case. She was awesome. So Fani Willis now has been asked a question about block billing, and now she's trying to bring it over to a different attorney.
Billing.
The credibility of whoever's saying it is an issue.
Well, then let's just.
So I'd like to talk about what this committee did the last time we were here, and for the press, I will have 50 copies of this so each person can get a copy. You all, the last time y'all had a committee meeting, you all purported this lie that I had the honor of meeting Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm going to answer this question right now.
I don't think they asked her this
you
question.
Stated that You stated that it was me and it was Mayor Dickens. And then you put this exhibit up for the entire world to see. How disingenuous, how lacking of integrity for Miss Merchant as an attorney to put it up, and for Cowsert, who I noticed is cowardly not here, to have it here. This clearly says, I'm at a Black History Month project. Almost every important Black elected official across the country was invited to it. I'm on the lawn with a cocktail, and yet y'all tell the world I was sitting down with the vice president having a meeting. It was a damn lie. And this is the evidence of it. And y'all had the audacity to put it up on a screen as if you were showing something other than the DA was having a cocktail on the lawn. I have never even had the honor of meeting Vice President Kamala Harris. Never.
Well, we know where she's coming from because of talking about honor. What about Nathan Wade? Do I think that's where we were going, where he was checking in to the White House? He was logged into the White House there, Fani.
Never.
How would you define block billing?
Like somebody who didn't know what the hell they were talking about.
Look at her shaking.
I'm going to refer you to the screen.
This is not somebody who has the temperament to be a prosecuting attorney. You know, they talk about judicial temperament a lot. Okay, a prosecuting attorney has to have a certain temperament, being willing to do their job, look at facts without bias, and move ahead with the evidence of the case.
I don't review those documents, so you're asking me to look at documents that I haven't for the first time. What I can tell you is that I allowed Mr. Wade to bill 160 hours a week, and then Mr. Wade would be the first one in the office making sure that my staff arrived. He corrected their behavior. They thought that 8:30 meant 8:30. He taught them that 8:30 means 7:45.
Oh, this is interesting. So she has no good control over her own prosecutor's office, but the independent contractor did. Got it. I mean, the admissions here are startling if you really pay attention to what she's saying.
Got there before them. He left after him. He taught them how to do this case, and he was a leader to that team and a public servant. And for that, him, like me, has been threatened thousands of times. You want something to investigate as a legislature? Investigate how many times they've called me the N-word. Why don't you investigate that? Why don't you investigate them writing on?
I don't think we need to investigate how many times Fani Willis has been called the N-word. That's not what the case is about. Okay, people get called bad things all the time. Okay, I mean, I've had plenty of comments on social media calling me all kinds of nasty things, using cuss words and everything. She's, again, trying to make this all about her. This isn't about her. It's about the law. It's about procedures in Fulton County. It's about how she billed. It's about how she showed preference to her boyfriend. It's about how she wasted $750,000 on him alone, and apparently had 9 attorneys working on this case.
My house. Why don't you investigate the fact that my house has been swatted if you want something to do with your time that makes sense? And you can use all this in your campaign ad. You attacked Fani Willis. What have you done, sir? Nothing.
I'm going to refer you to the screen. I know you
Look
said
at
I've never seen it, so I can't talk to you about documents I don't approve and don't review. Can't talk to you about it.
Who does approve the documents in your office when invoices come in?
I thought we've been through this.
I don't believe you said who reviews the invoices and approves the invoices in your office.
First of all, I have no firsthand knowledge of it.
You have no firsthand
knowledge. You want me to
knowledge
testify about something I don't have any firsthand knowledge of?
I'm asking.
Are you asking me to speculate? Because I've clearly told you I don't have any firsthand knowledge of it, and I'm not going to speculate.
The question is.
This is wild. So we don't know. You're in charge of this office, and you don't even know who pays the bills, who signs off on the bills. It's no wonder there's so much fraud in government.
When an invoice comes into your office from a special assistant district attorney, what is the review process for that invoice before it's paid?
She's answered this. She said she has a deputy of operations, and he reviews or she reviews, and then it goes through the county. So it's a repetitive question.
What's the name of the deputy of operations?
The question has been asked and answered, and I believe it goes straight to the county, so I'm not sure. Dexter Bond.
Okay.
Oh.
Do you know who ATG may be, initials within your office?
Okay, this is next level. Look at this, folks. So she finally gave up the name after saying she didn't know. Okay, so she's lied this whole time, finally gives up the name Dexter Bond. And Barnes, this former governor of Georgia, is trying to defend her. But now He knows. Apparently, this guy knows it's not Dexter Bond. It's some ATG. Oh, this is going to get good.
I don't.
I would assume that it's accurate to say it's probably not Dexter Bond.
Maybe somebody at the county.
What we're looking at here are two bills that were paid by and approved by your department. The one on the left is from the Cross firm, which refers to Anna Cross that we referenced earlier. The one on the right is
Look at her face as he pulls up these documents. This is epic.
invoice number 11 from Nathan Wade. And the first thing that
Let me tell you why this is such a
the
damn
first
joke.
thing that jumps out to me as
She can't hold it together.
Paid lawyer bills before, and I believe this gets to the question, the question which was around block billing.
She's shaking,
And
just
here's my
shaking.
Question for you, Madam DA: are there rules in your contracts or otherwise when you hire independent contractors that gets to the billing methodology for your attorneys? In other words, are they allowed to always bill to the even hour, or is there a professional expectation that they would bill to the 10th?
Let me tell you something. I had 3 attorneys working with me that had integrity. For you to insinuate that a judge that sat for 10 years and was the head of the magistrate court judges, that they did something illegal. They were underpaid. I have here documents where in one annual year, because I want you to remember his bills were over the course of 3 years. In one annual year made 8 million, made 5 million. And I'm going to make sure that the press has that so that when you're asking me about this great service to the state of Georgia, that it is understood that these are more than reasonable, actually bargain basement amounts. Ms. Cross would insist that I wrote government rate in her contract because she didn't want anyone to get confused that she would actually work for this rate, but for the fact that it was service to her community. So I don't know what we're talking about here, but to insinuate these 3 lawyers that have great integrity, have served this community well, did something unethical, I don't know why we're having this conversation. I don't know anything about whatever you're talking about.
This guy is so calm. It's really fascinating watching this gal who is the district attorney for Fulton County fly off the handle. And this guy just calmly asks the questions and he does not respond to her.
The state of Georgia allocates funding to your office.
They hire those 25 lawyers, yes.
And the questioning here is relative to the approval process of invoices that are paid by your office. You have testified that is done by Dexter Bond, that you're unaware of who this ATG is that signed off on this. We'll move on to this further line of questioning here.
You know, old men have to go to the bathroom about every hour.
Governor, would you like a 5-minute recess? We'll take a 5-minute recess.
He needs to go to the bathroom. All right, folks, here's the scoop. If you want to watch this, I'm going to post. I'm done. I've seen enough. I'll get some clips of it and stuff. But here's the link. If you want to continue watching it, you can go to the Gateway Pundit article and then watch it. I'm not going to sit through their 5-minute break and then sit through more of Fani Willis. I think you kind of get what's going on here. I mean, as we've watched this, we see that Fani Willis does not want to face any accountability. She doesn't want to answer any questions. She can't answer the questions, folks. She says she doesn't even know, but then she does know, it turns out. We've witnessed a lot here in this short period of time. I find it interesting as I'm watching this, just how well, obviously she was lying. So how much of a liar, how incompetent, how she tries to deflect, turn everything around on the people asking the questions, not what she did herself. It's pretty wild, folks. Here, I guess, let me, I wanted to cover one other thing. I had something else I thought was worth covering, which is hold on, I got to pull it up here. Oh, you know what? I'm going to pull this in. This is important. Okay, so this is Mike Benz. And so this was shared by an account on X, Wall Street Apes. Mike Benz literally just proved CNN worked with the Democrats to cover up the steal of the 2020 election. The plan was called Red Mirage Blue Shift. So let's just watch Mike Benz explain this. I think he explains it so well. It's nothing that maybe you haven't heard before in different ways, but I think the way Benz explains this is so good. And this is at the heart of the issues in Fulton County.
It gets back to their one chance for winning the election in 2020, which is what they called the Red Mirage Blue Shift event. This is CNN, for example, September 1, 2020, month before the Whitmer kidnapping, 2 months before the election, 4 months before January 6th. Deciphering the Red Mirage and Blue Shift, uncertainty surrounding the election results. This was what CISA and the censorship operation to censor the 2020 election was all about. It was to pre-censor anything that might question or, quote, delegitimize an upcoming miraculous come-from-behind victory the day after or in the days after, where it would be.
Yeah, it was the days after, folks. I mean, it was like, it took us a week to figure out that Biden, quote unquote, won. Okay. And Georgia was at the heart of all of that.
Be a red mirage, Trump would win on election night, but then it would shift blue and Biden would win. They knew that was Biden's only path to victory, that it would look to all hell. So they had to pre-censor 5 months before that happened, starting in June 2020. Any criticism of it on social media. That's why you got banned for questioning mass mail-in ballots, because high-ranking government officials at the Department of Homeland Security teamed up with their outside blob mob, who are all career specialists in toppling governments and know that the crux of it is perceptions of legitimacy.
Perceptions of legitimacy, folks. Perceptions of legitimacy. That's an important term, because that really is it. And so and this is exactly what happened within the courts too, right? All the cases that were brought up before the election were dismissed based on a legal term. I want to see who knows this in the chat. What were the cases before the election dismissed upon? Okay, there was a key legal term. And then afterwards, many of them dismissed, unallowed to hear the evidence because of another legal term. Okay. So before the election, yes, thank you. Douglas McHaller got it. It was called latches. Latches was actually the case because harm hadn't happened. It was lack of standing was right there after the election. Okay. They brought up lack of standing. So this is how that whole thing went down. But it's absolutely wild to me. Again, folks, please go check out my sponsor, MyPillow, mypillow.com/lumberjack for big savings and the best sleep products available. Okay. Still great deals over there that you can get. This is the pillows themselves, but this is all with promo code lumberjack. As you can see, mypillow.com/lumberjack. I'm going to go to the actual page and show you. By the way, if you don't have Rev 7, go get some. I mean, seriously, best energy drink there is, hands down, right there. Save up to 30% with their subscription. You get a free 3-pack to start, and then you can get all 3 flavors are great. My kids love them all. I don't know. I think if I had to put it in order, I really like blueberries. I like the blueberry citrus. I like the apple. And I like the lemonade as well, but I almost think, I don't know which one I like most, if it's the apple or the blueberry citrus. To comment in the chat, which is your favorite flavor? Those who've had them, is it the blueberry citrus, the lemonade, or the apple? Just comment. I'm curious to see. Apple's my favorite. That's Mike's favorite too, Lisa. Coincidentally. So mypillow.com/lumberjack. Call 1-800-568-2865, folks. Okay. Anyhow, Apple. Don's into Apple as well. All right. The apple is good. So Apple is Stephanie's too. Everybody likes the apple. So there you go, folks. I mean, it's one of my faves as well. Okay. Where did you say we could finish watching it? Yes, absolutely. I will get you that link. Let's see. I'll put that in the chat for you. Command V, the Gateway Pundit. So it's up on the Gateway Pundit, and there's the link for it if you want to continue watching it. I'm done with Fani. My greatest disappointment right now, folks, is watching we as media, which I'm a part of in the conservative circles, fought so hard to gain footing and bring credibility to the actual issues in the 2020 election, COVID, a whole host of issues. And I see some of that unraveling, the credibility being lost by wild conspiracies right now. Okay. Some of you will get what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter. I'm not one to typically, you guys know this. I don't run around going after people on the right, and I'm just not playing that game. I'm not into that kind of division, dissension, all that kind of stuff within our ranks. But I'll just say this much. I mean, just watch who you listen to. Just watch who you listen to. And, you know, I'm not saying I've got a handle on truth. I'm not the truth. Here's the truth. The truth is right here. Okay. This is the truth. It's in this book. It's the absolute truth. There is no truth that supersedes it. There is no your truth, my truth. There's the truth. And it's all found in the Bible. But when you're looking at events, there is a truth of what happened. Okay. That doesn't mean that it's the truth for the end of all ages in terms of where people go or how it plays out in the end plan. Okay. But, you know, I'm going this weekend, I'm going down to AmFest, Turning Point. And there's Erica Kirk, and, you know, I've seen video of her before and after Charlie's murder, and it's obvious to me that she's hurting. Okay. And then everybody goes off. I just don't like the way she looks when she cries, or what's wrong with her eyes. She's trying to get over the situation and not get hardened. Okay. And honestly, she needs our prayers more than anything. And now she's facing what she's facing with all these conspiracy theories that don't actually have factual evidence backing them up, like Egyptian planes and whatever. So, Father God, we just come before you in the mighty name of Jesus. We pray for Turning Point, for Erica. We pray for this movement, Lord. Unite people, bring them together, show them the truth of things. Oh, Lord. We are so close to getting our country back. We need your help to do it. We need your help to do it. And we're asking for your help. We know your ways are higher than our ways, your thoughts higher than our thoughts. You can take messes and turn them into messages. And there's nothing impossible for you. We ask this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, folks, that's it. I got to get ready to fly out to, America Fest, AmFest. And so that's where it's at. And that's what I'm going to do. And I love y'all. And maybe I'll get another video made today, but I don't know. I got to pack camera bags and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be doing some videoing for Lindell TV. I'll be producing some content down there as well. But I have certain jobs to do. My daughter is going with me. She's going to run a camera as well. And I will keep in touch with you from down there at the event. All right. I love y'all. Keep fighting the good fight, folks. Stay true to the cause. Peace out.